Okay, so we're going to start with the Iran situation. Yes, so since we talked last, Iran got into a escalation with Israel. I have to give the backstory every time because there might be new viewers. Israel and Lebanon were supposed to be a part of the ceasefire. Israel never stopped firing on Lebanon, never stopped trying to acquire territory, and because of that, a lot of these negotiations have stalled. Israel decided to strike Beirut after Iran had said that if they strike Beirut, that's a red line and we will retaliate. And so they did, and then Iran retaliated. Iran hit some places inside of Israel. Then Israel cucked Donald Trump and went ahead with their attack on Iran without his like go ahead, even though, let's be real, they wouldn't be able to hit Iran if they didn't have all of America's intel and America's like planes that are refueling them and all that good stuff. So and then today, I think earlier this morning, if I remember correctly, an Apache helicopter was struck, and Iran has taken credit for it. And I believe America has also confirmed that Iran was the one that took it down. Now, I don't think there were any injury, or I don't know about injuries. I don't think there were any deaths, as far as I know. From what I've seen so far. However, I believe Donald Trump is now back to saber rattling. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and watch this video. This is from Fox News. Breaking. This is from 4 hours ago. Breaking. Iran shot down U.S. helicopter in Strait of Hormuz. Let's try and find out a little bit more.
Also, breaking news to start us off this afternoon. Sandra, I'm John Roberts from Washington. This is America Reports. Of course, the big question is what comes next if the president says that the U.S. is going to respond. The U.S. military did make a first-of-its-kind rescue with an unmanned drone boat to rescue the airmen. President Trump.
This is some new tech I was not aware of. By the way, unmanned drone boat. I knew that they had water drones, I guess. But I didn't know they had boats. I knew that they had like explosive water drones with warheads or whatever, like that were able to explode, like one-way attack water drones and stuff. I was completely unaware that we had unmanned like drone boats that can go like pick people up and shit. So that's new tech unlocked apparently. I guess our military, our dwindling military, or I shouldn't say dwindling, our overpriced military industrial complex was able to create a new piece of technology that was effective. Hey, it's better than the F-35, right? The F-35 that's been, hit like twice now in this war with Iran. That was like $1 trillion. So I'm gonna count that on the America curve, on the America military industrial complex curve. I'm going to count that as an A+, okay? A+. New technology unlocked, and it successfully did its job. Congrats.
Adding that the U.S. is going to respond to this attack in kind. We don't know what that means at the moment, though. Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey with the read from 1600 Pennsylvania. Peter, what do you got?
John, it probably means that the president is about to order something big in Iran be blown up. We know a couple days ago he was in the Oval Office and was asked if a red line for restarting a hot war against Iran would be U.S. troops being killed. And he said that would be a good reason to resume military operations. There were no...
I will be curious, though, have they thought this through? Because when we were in the escalations last time, Iran equally, every single time, equally and sometimes surpassed like escalations every single time. Every time America hit Iran escalated further and hit more targets in the region. So I'm curious if they've thought this through, because also America was probably, I'd say, at least optically in a worse position during the hot war like last time. At least rhetorically, America can pretend like they are like still have like capabilities and stuff, or like would still be able to in any way affect the outcome of this war during the ceasefire. But that all goes away as soon as the mirage of the ceasefire goes away, and we're back into a complete like full hot war with Iran peppering the entire region with missiles and America being unable to protect them. So I want to I want to tell Donald Trump, if you're listening, Donald Trump, I know you probably don't watch this channel. You probably hate it because you think I'm an un-American, unpatriotic, America-hating leftist. But I'm telling you, please, please, please think closely, think strongly. You like the word strongly. Think strongly about whether you want to actually go through with this, because I don't think it will end up how you think it might. I also, in the same way that when you first started this war, it clearly hasn't ended up how you thought it might. So I want you to think very carefully, Donald Trump, very strongly, the most strong.
U.S. troops killed here, but it seems like Iran was trying really, really hard to kill U.S. troops, because they did shoot down an Apache helicopter. We've got the president's post. He says, I've just been informed by our great...
I hope he goes into it, because I need to know how this happened. As far as I know, Iranian drones are not for hitting moving targets, right? Iranian drones are to hit stationary targets like military bases and stuff. The way that I understand how it works is the person who is like launching them inputs the coordinates of where they want the drone to land, and then they launch it and then it lands. I don't think there's maneuverability except for their newer technology ones that have like automatic like redirecting systems in order to avoid in order to avoid missile interceptors, right? But those ones are still going for a particular location. They just will look like they're going for another location and then swerve at the last second to hit that location. So I'm very, very curious how they hit this target. Unless this target was, unless the Apache helicopter was nearby a stationary target that Iran was shooting for and got hit on accident or something, I really don't think that they, or if it was just stationary on the ground and they were aiming for it and it had been there for a while, then maybe there's that. Again, I don't know why they wouldn't just like move to avoid it. That seems interesting to me. So I hope that he goes into exactly like what happened. I hope we have that intel. If not, I'm still very, very confused.
Military that last night the Iranians shot down one of our highly sophisticated Apache helicopters while patrolling over the Strait of Hormuz. There were 2 pilots involved. Both are safe and uninjured. Nevertheless, the United States must, of necessity, respond to this attack. This is brand new. We had been told over the last couple of hours that an Apache was down and that an operational first for the U.S. military was using this drone, this water-based drone. We've got some info on it. It's a 24.
I shouldn't have told them. I shouldn't have told them that I'm giving them an A+ on the American military industrial complex curve, because now they're going to take this like what shouldn't even be a noteworthy like thing, like our military technology that we spend ungodly amounts of my tax dollars on, like just like succeeding in doing the job that it's supposed to do shouldn't be this like huge massive deal. But I feel like they're going to run this shit into the ground about, oh look, our military industrial complex is competent. Everybody please look at how competent it is. Like you're stop talking trash on it. Look, we had this piece of technology that actually worked. Like I gave you the A+, but I might have to downgrade it if they keep talking about it too much.
4 foot long ASV, autonomous surface vessel. They call it the U.S. Navy Corsair. It's got a 1,000 mile nautical range and 35 knot top speed. We don't know exactly how the drone contributed to the search, but it is credited with helping save these guys' lives as they were plucked out of the Strait of Hormuz. And we would expect to hear more from President Trump about exactly what the appropriate response is here. But
I also want them to tell me if Iran has confirmed that they shot it down. Because I thought I had read that. I can't say for sure. Maybe I can look that up on the side. But if Iran has confirmed it, then I'm inclined to believe Iran. But if Iran hasn't, then I would also like not chalk this, or I would also be willing to like chalk this up to like a false flag situation. I'm not going to lie. Israel really wants America to go back into the kinetic war. So I would like to get that information. I'll see if I can find that on the side.
It's definitely going to delay any kind of a final peace plan, John.
I'm sure that the military's got a target list that's as long as your arm. As you point out, we don't know what the president will go after, but I would imagine it's probably something of high value.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no reason to think that just because.
Oh, okay. According to Al Jazeera, Iran has not confirmed or denied. 1 second. Let me get this pulled up. Iran has not confirmed. Come on, where is this? Ugh, I hate websites, man. Websites are unusable now. I need to get an ad blocker, man. I used to have one, I thought, and maybe it's just not installed on this computer, but Iran has not confirmed or denied downing the helicopter, but in an apparent response to Trump's claims, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi called on U.S. forces to withdraw from the region. The Strait of Hormuz is not international waters, but shared between Iran and Oman and located thousands of miles away from U.S. shores. Maritime boundaries are crystal clear, Araghchi said. Our powerful armed forces are on constant alert for any violation of Iran's airspace, land, or waters. I mean, this is just more laying claim to that water, and claiming that they will militarily protect that water that they are now claiming as their own. Foreign forces in proximity to our territory are at constant risk on account of their own human errors, plane accidents, or potentially being caught up in crossfire. Okay, so that's the Iranian Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister's response. They are not claiming responsibility, so that means there is a chance that this is a false flag. So I'm like, okay, I want to say I'm 50-50. I'm probably like 70-30 thinking that Iran was responsible, but that 30%, you know, Israel definitely Israel has a track record, let's just say, of instigating America into, like, goading America into war with false flags. So just something to keep in mind, people.
They took down a U.S. helicopter. He's going to go take out a helicopter. In fact, if you talk to the president about this, he says they've already wiped out the entire Iranian Air Force. Something that they have been talking about lately are Iranian drone factories. Marco Rubio was talking about this on the Hill. President Trump talks about this a little bit. They still have some ability to make these cheap drones to attack their...
I heard it was like 80% intact still. I thought there was reporting on that. I'll see if I can fact check myself.
Their neighbors in the Gulf, and also to attack U.S. interests near the Strait of Hormuz. It's possible that they decide to go after one of these things that they've been talking about, or it could be something completely different.
And continuing to update that the White House says that the service...
Let's see. I mean, this is from the Iran Wire, but I think it's referencing a CENTCOM. Oh, wait, no. Okay, this is it. It's 70%. While the CENTCOM deputy commander claimed that 90% of Iran's missile and drone stockpiles had been destroyed, the New York Times reported on Wednesday, May 14, citing U.S. intelligence assessments that nearly 70% of Iran's mobile launchers and around 70% of its pre-war missile inventory are intact. The report also stated that Iran has regained access to most of its missile bases and underground facilities. That's another thing to keep in mind, is that I don't know exactly what the how much of Iran's drone manufacturing is done above ground versus below ground, but I assure you that it is enough below ground, in these missile cities, to be able to continue producing drones during an air an air war, an air campaign against them, because that is exactly what they were preparing for. They were preparing for air only, I think they were planning mostly for air only campaign against them, like a bombing campaign against them. So they would not put their missile production, their critical missile production infrastructure, or at least not most of it, above ground. Now, this is why I always say, it would take there's no way to bomb this. It is literally unbombable. It is inside of mountains. I've said it before. If you took multiple nukes, dropped multiple nukes on these mountains, you would not hit these missile production facilities. There would be a ton of radiation, obviously, that might make them unusable from that perspective. However, they would still be materially intact, right? So there's nothing America would be capable of doing, even if it escalated to a nuclear option, to these manufacturing hubs, in my personal assessment. So I don't know. I really just honestly don't know what Like there's just straight up nothing America can do about this situation. And they've also lost escalation dominance here. America is no longer the one who controls the escalation. Iran for sure is.
Service members involved are safe and uninjured. Peter, do you anticipate that we'll hear from the president or the White House in any form anytime soon?
Anytime soon is tough. The president's got 3 policy meetings listed on his public schedule. Those don't usually open up to cameras, but if they do,
the ballroom, and the ballroom. Those are his 3 policy meetings that he has to go to right now.
We would see the president and probably some national security advisors in the Oval Office.
Okay.
Well, as we know all too well, all the president's got to do is wave his hand, and suddenly these things become public. So we'll see. Peter, thank you for the update.
The douche.
We'll watch for any update from the White House. Meanwhile, let's break.
I really wish Fox News had like old school radio effects or whatever, because Peter Doocy has the perfect name. He would be the douche, right? Like, so I wish they just had like an introducing the douche. Like, I would love that shit, man. It would make it way more entertaining for me.
In retired 2-star Marine Corps General Arnold Punaro. General, welcome to you. This is the news. As we start off the top of the hour, we do now anticipate what happens next. Your thoughts?
Well, Iran has committed a mortal sin here, and they're going to pay the price. The president had been showing remarkable restraint the last couple of days as Iran was attacking Kuwait.
Why? Why? This is another thing. They never asked the question. Like, if America was capable of bombing Iran into submission, they wouldn't have stopped bombing. America isn't doing this out of niceness. They're not like negotiating or being like less hawkish towards Iran right now out of niceness. They're doing it out of a material reality that has borne itself out in war that is undeniable. And so, like, the reason that Trump is like, quote unquote, like being nice in these negotiations and not like bombing Iran constantly during them is because fundamentally, if he bombed Iran during them, Iran would just escalate, and he knows that. Like, so I don't know, man. These people are delusional, man. It's crazy.
As they were attacking Israel, as they were stirring the pot with the Houthis and Hezbollah, and now the president basically correctly, first of all, thanks to our great rescue capability and the new technology, our pilots are safe.
I'm telling you, man, it's going down to a B. That grade that I gave them at the beginning is down to a B now because they can't fucking stop talking about it. It's not that impressive. I'm grading you on a curve, okay? Jesus.
The president, I think, would have our military, and they'll be ready to go. They're ready now. Go after military targets, which would include command and control, the military leadership, their legitimate combatants, other high-value military targets. So I fully expect the military.
But why didn't you do that last time? Why didn't you do that last time? It seems like if this actually would have an impact in any meaningful way, why wouldn't you have done it last time? Ask the question.
He already knows
These are easy questions.
What we call in Iran a target-rich environment. The president has been very remarkable in trying to keep the peace negotiations on track. This is a huge,
because he's scared.
As I said, a mortal sin by Iran in that regard.
General, we were talking off camera. You said that you wouldn't recommend that the president go after any of the oil facilities because that could ignite a tit for tat and drive oil prices through the roof. But here's the thing. The president said that he wouldn't resume attacks against Iran unless Americans were killed. As Peter Doocy rightly points out, maybe the pilots survived, but Iran sure was trying to kill them. So does that mean that everything is on the table here now as far as the president goes?
I still don't know how we know that. Like I said, the story doesn't make any sense still because it's a moving target, and these drones are specifically designed to hit stationary targets. If a drone is coming at you, just move, like just move. It's like, I don't understand. That's why I'm saying it had to have been an accident, or maybe this like, this helicopter. Okay, here's my headcanon now. These pilots were so patriotic to the nation state of Israel, not to America. Not to America, to the nation state of Israel. They were so patriotic that they decided to drive their helicopter, fly their helicopter directly into the oncoming missile. directly into it. Like, so the missile is like going for the great nation state of Israel, and they just like flew their helicopter into it in order to stop it from hitting them. And maybe that's what happened. It's either that or the false flag or just like some sort of accident. Those are the only three options.
Including the top military leadership in Iran.
John, everything should be on the table. It should always be on the table. We never signal to our adversaries, what we're going to do or not do. But my point would be, and God bless and thank God our pilots are safe. But again, it's a mortal sin. They tried to kill our pilots, just like you said. We have tremendous economic pressure on Iran right now because of the way that we are, doing the blockade, as well as
just one more sanction, and they're going to collapse any day now. Just like China, just one more sanction, one more blockade, and they will be so economically destitute that they will collapse in on themselves. Just one more, and it'll work. I promise you, just one more.
Not letting oil flow through the Strait of Hormuz. So that economic pressure's there. I would think the appropriate situation would be a legitimate military target, but certainly much more damaging than just going after one helicopter.
General, I'm just taking a look at markets right now, as we have been throughout this conflict, to see how markets are responding. And it's amazing to see that this is happening in a moment where we've seen a turnaround in the U.S. stock market today, Dow off 370 points, but oil prices right now are now well back below $90 a barrel, as the U.S. Energy Secretary has suggested that Hormuz ship traffic is on the rise in a big.
Dude, it's all funny money, man. It's all fake. This is insane to me. Maybe there is more ship traffic going through. I don't know. I know that Iran has been having shadow fleets go throughout this. And Iran isn't against, I think, allowing like non-U.S. affiliated ships going through and shipping oil. So maybe America is relaxing their portion of the blockade to allow more ships to come through to export oil. But I really, like, I honestly have no idea. I still think that the markets, when it comes to oil and obviously the stock market, it's all just funny money, man. It's all based on hopium and like a dream. And it's like, I don't know. I really don't understand how this can be sustainable. We have another video coming up, though, about oil, so I'll probably get a little more into it with that one.
Big way. So you've got oil now down about 4%. That's a drop of about $4 today. Bottom right corner of your screen. As this news comes in, General, tie this all together.
Well, I would say that's another reason, Sandra, that you probably would not want to go after the oil infrastructure and the energy infrastructure. If we did that, obviously, you'd see those prices start to spike in a big way. And even though I think this is a huge setback because of Iran.
Yeah, but what if Iran targets oil and gas infrastructure around the region after you attack them? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's also a chance that like America is just going to do a performative strike. If you remember way back when, during the 12-day war or whatever it's called, where Iran did like, I think, some performative strikes towards Israel, and like basically gave America the heads up, like, here's what we're going to target, you can block them all or whatever, like use up all your missile interceptors on them, I guess. Like, it's possible that America could do like a performative strike in order to, like, in a similar vein, in order to like be perceived as not letting this happen. But I don't know. Only time will tell what the actual response is going to look like.
On the negotiating track, I think the president will do what's appropriate in terms of the military response, teach them a lesson for sure, and try to get the negotiations back on track. We certainly want to see that the oil infrastructure and the energy start to flow, because that's important not just to the world economy. And, everyone's concerned about that. But on the other hand, we can't let them, and I know the president is not going to let them get away with this.
I mean, in terms of teaching them a lesson, General, the IRGC, the Iranian regime, has got a learning curve that's as steep as the face of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. I mean, these guys don't get it until you
They don't get it, man. It's ridiculous. It's the exact opposite. It's complete projection. America doesn't get it. Like, these people don't get it. They don't understand that they have lost the war, and like they need to fundamentally get that in order to actually move forward with any sort of like lasting peace proposal. And they will get that eventually. They will be forced to understand it eventually. Once, like, if the global energy market keeps up like this or keeps getting worse, which like we're hearing talks that we're having like shortages, like oil shortages in terms of the reserves as well. So, and I'm going to talk about that later, like in the next video. But America needs to understand that it has lost the war and that it is not going to be able to influence the outcome. The outcome will be influenced by Iran because they militarily have defeated America. So there's really just nothing like these people are the ones who are like living in la la land, where they have to like constantly pretend like America has like won the war, even though everybody has eyes.
Really bloody them. So would you suggest that the president just do some sort of pinpoint attack and retaliation, or unleash hell on these guys and finally say to them, this is it? It's come to the table, or you're going to really pay the price?
John, I think when you're dealing with the Republican guards, you have to unleash
Insanity,
hell, death,
man.
and destruction. You say
it's insanity. They are insane. They keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different to happen. They already tried. You already tried this. Think of something new.
they don't get it. Well, let's send them to their just reward, and you know where that is.
Well, General, you leave us wondering, as Peter Doocy left us wondering as well, when we'll hear from the White House next.
Well, I know the military's ready to go already. I mean, they're just waiting to get the
Trump's too busy with all his ballroom meetings, man. Okay, let's go ahead and move on.